Oh, okay.
That's not child support.
Right, that's totally two different things.
And you have to pay both. The
Well,
longer...
that depends on how long you stay married, though, right?
That's right. So if, let's say you wait another 2 days, you owe her another day of vagina money.
Right. Now,
so every 2 days you wait, you owe her another day.
Okay. So the next thing is, Tom, I talked to, I have a lot of older, mentors or buddies or whatever the case may be. And so I asked them, I said, well, does it ever get to a point where you slow down, where you stop boning chicks other than, who you should be boning or whatever? And I always get the same answer, man. It's like, no, you just slow down. So it's like you're in a situation where even if you're quote unquote happy, if you're married, right? If you're quote unquote in a happy marriage or whatever. I don't know no guys, and maybe somebody can call in and say it, but I don't know any guys who just quote unquote just stay 100% faithful and do all that whole thing. You always end up boning somebody.
I think it's those guys in the Viagra commercial with the ED.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys singing Viva Viagra, whatever.
Right.
Those guys. Those are the guys who don't fool around because, hey, they don't have any compelling physical reason to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the way I see it, man, it's like whether you married or in this case, if you're married and no matter how happy you say you are, I don't know, any guys who are quote-unquote 100% faithful, I mean, they always end up doing something at some point. So, and then again, you run into some women nowadays who even kind of expect it as long as you don't, I guess, put it in their face. Because they always say, well, men are going to be men, blah, blah, blah. But that's not to say that I or anyone else put it past any woman that she wouldn't do anything. Because I was listening to your show where a guy called in. He was a detective, a private detective for 30 years, and he said actually there are more women who cheated than men. Men just get caught most of the time, women don't.
Because most people don't suspect that women would do that.
Well, that's crazy.
Well, that is the stereotype. Hang on a second, D. Let me get Chuck in here. Chuck, what did you want to say to D here?
I'd like to say, if you've been listening to Tom Leykis for all these years, why haven't you taken his advice?
Well, like I said, man, I was already hit with one kid at least before I even started listening to Tom, number one. And then number two, again, I called him up a couple years ago before I got my next set of kids, and I, told him the situation. I try to hang in there like he said and finish school like he said.
Right.
And I'm not implying that I'm in some total bad situation. I'm just saying what happens as far as the rules he just read off are concerned if you're already in it.
Right, but it just doesn't make sense on if you've been listening to him why you still aren't wearing condoms.
Well, man, you can make that point, and that's a valid point, but I don't know too many people who wear condoms when they're married.
You know who wears condoms when they're married? People who aren't sure they want to pay even more child support or even more vagina money.
Yeah, but realistically, though, I'm talking about, it's just like all those guys who call in and say they had a one-night stand, now they got a kid. When it comes down to it, it's a rare few number of guys who are actually going to put on that condom.
But they should because they don't want to pay, including you.
I know how it should be, but I'm telling you, or you already know how the way it is. It's the things, how it should be and how it is.
I mean, you're still having sex with her right now without a condom.
Well, we took care of that too, Ty.
Is it because of the feeling fact? I mean, why are you still not wearing a condom? I mean, it feels good, but after you're done doing what you're doing, right after, especially if you don't use a condom, you think twice and you're like, oh my God, if I would have thought 2 minutes ago on what I just did, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, but I've had that feeling a long time ago, and that's why I wear condoms now.
Well, wait a minute, guy. Like I said, are you talking about wearing condoms with my wife or some other chick?
Well, both.
Well, obviously, with some other chick, you're going to wear condoms. As a matter of fact, when it comes to some other chick, man, I wouldn't just sleep with anybody anyway, just because of some other free piece of ass or whatever. But that's my wife. We took care of that, so we don't have to worry about having any more kids as far as that's concerned.
Okay.
Anyway, my whole thing here, D, is you want to, if you don't think you're in it for the long haul, you want to make sure you don't pay any more alimony than you have to.
Right. No, right. I hear you. Well, like I said, I just wanted to get your take on, if you're already in a situation, obviously you would be like a moron to just drop and run. I mean,
unless you're unhappy. If you're miserable, then you have to face facts.
Well, yeah. Well, listening to the stories over the years, man, you could be actually even more unhappy once you get to putting out that money.
I don't agree with that. I've had more guys agree with me when I say that there's a reason why divorce costs so much, and you know the reason, don't you, D?
Why is that, Tom?
Because it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. Well, what happens to the saying is sometimes it's cheaper to keep it.
That saying was disproven a long time ago. That was a song in the 50s, but in reality, there is empirical evidence that song was wrong.
That's right, Tom. Well, look, man, like I said, I listen to you a lot, and I don't take anything from you, of course. I love it when women call up and they hate you. And then, as a matter of fact, when women in the public I run into say they hate you, but then later on they start loving you. So keep doing what you're doing, man. And, if I had heard of you or listened to you before I got married or whatever, then that'd be a different story. But, once you're in it, like you said, if you're in it for the long haul, you're in it. Or if it's that bad, just get out. So, anyway.
Exactly.
Thanks for taking the call, buddy.
D, thank you. Always good to hear from you. Good luck. 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Sam on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
I'm doing great.
It's an honor.
I know.
I'll give you a quick background of my story.
Right.
I'm 20 years old, and I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. I go to the university there.
Home of my favorite hotel, the Madison Radisson.
Yeah, it's a great town, man. Good parties there. If you're ever in, let me know.
I've been. I was there about 14 years ago. I was there.
Yeah, it's a great place. But so yeah, I've just finished my first 2 years of my mechanical engineering degree, and I got a internship out here. So I'm out here until December now. And right before I left, about 4 months, I met a girl, and we started getting serious and became.
Wait! Why'd you do that?
Well, I'd never been in a relationship at all.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, now I know. It took me 6 months to get here though and learn that. But right before I came out here, it was just at the end of the semester, and I told her I didn't want to do a long distance relationship because I want to come out to California and enjoy myself and see what's out here, see the women, see everything, But she kind of guilted me into staying with her, and so I was with her for about a month, and man, it was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life. Trying to talk to her every night, and she'd be flipping out every other night, crying and yelling at me, and then we finally ended it a week ago, and man, I can't tell you how happy I am right now.
Now, don't make that mistake again, Sam.
I know that. I started listening to your show, and this is when I was still with her. And I started listening to your show, and I was like, man, the things he says about women, this is exactly what my girlfriend's doing to me right now. Guilting me into staying with her and trying to make her happy and sacrificing, going to clubs and trying to meet new women out here. And
hey, more than that, she'd have you sacrifice your opportunity in mechanical engineering.
Yeah. She made me feel guilty for coming out here, and right now I'm making really, really good money, especially for my age. I'm not having a hard time out here, and I'm going to beaches on the weekend, checking out the ladies, and just this past weekend I was just going out and start talking to girls, getting numbers, and I can't tell you how much fun I've been having now.
You have access to every woman, and by the way, I've been to Madison, okay? And let me tell you something about Wisconsin, okay? The women don't just like to eat bratwurst, they look like bratwurst.
You can find a couple of good ones, but it's nothing like out here, I'll tell you that.
And you want to know something? The good ones are either there just to go to school from another city, or when they graduate, they're leaving for L.A., Miami, New York.
And that's why I'm doing this internship out here. Make some connections, get my get my career path, trying to set it down so that when I graduate, I have the option to move out here and live here permanently and have access to all the women, like you were saying.
But do not tie yourself down to one woman. You're 20 years old.
Yeah. Looking back on it, I can't even imagine how much I missed during the past semester as far as parties and just everything. And, it was a learning experience, that's for sure.
All right. Well, hopefully you learned from it. Hopefully you won't be making that same mistake again, Sam. Good luck to you.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You can have an opinion. I just don't want to know what it is.
Why is that?
Because I just want you to put your left leg at the 12 and your right leg at the 3.
Oh, that is so irritating to hear you say that.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
97.1 Free FM. SoCal's FM talk station.
The Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM, we read you the 8 reasons that AskMan.com says you should stay single. I would use the word unmarried. And now we're getting your response to that at 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. Here comes Bud on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
You're my hero, buddy. My little brother turned me to you about 4 years ago, and I swear to God, it's the best thing that he could have ever done. I got married 3 years ago, and my wife wanted to have a baby. She was all mad about it because I wanted to have a vasectomy. I went out and got a vasectomy, and now we're getting divorced. Best thing I ever did.
So tell me about how happy you are and how you got to be so happy.
Oh, my God, Tom. I mean, this is just the best. I'm 34 years old, and it took my little brother telling me, he's 30, he's never been married, no children. It took him telling me, hey, you got to listen to Tom, man. You can't, trust me on this one. And I'm pretty successful. My brother owns a business. I make 6 figures, and I have a beautiful home, which I get to keep. I have a nice Mercedes. I get to keep that as well. And we don't have any children together. And then all of a sudden she just, hey, I'm leaving you. This is not working out. And I'm thinking, okay, so that's fine. But we don't have any children together. And it was the best thing it was the best investment, $1,000 I ever, it was the best investment I could ever done for myself.
And now the question is, Bud, are you getting more ass than a toilet seat?
Well, you know what? It's funny because there's 2 girls that, I just met within the last week that want to hook up just like that. So I haven't done anything drastic yet because I still don't want to piss her off while I'm going through this divorce, because that's the last thing I need is just get a angry bitch on my case. But other than that, yeah, as soon as it's done, it should be done here within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be back in the game. So I'm taking it slow because, again, I don't want to piss her off, but, it's going to be on, and I'm pretty excited. Guys need to get a vasectomy if they can. It's the best investment that anybody can make, and I'm 34 years old, and I'm pretty excited about my future.
All reports on vasectomies are that the best experience of having a vasectomy is when one of these little skanks comes to you and says that she's late with her period and that you're the father.
And you know what? She's done that to me before. She actually, about a year ago, she said, hey, I think I'm pregnant. And I said, you know what? That's impossible. I mean, I had a vasectomy. How? And I called my doctor. My doctor said, you know what? I mean, you shot blanks. We tested you. And, she missed her period because, I don't know. I mean, she's a woman, whatever. But, I didn't buy it. I think she was just trying to play her games, and she's been wanting to have a baby. But now, if I would have had a baby now, it would have been a night and day difference. I mean, this divorce from taking 30 days, it would have taken 30 years to undo. I mean, I'm excited. I'm ready to move forward, and I know she's pissed. I mean, I'm sure she still wanted to have a baby to tie me in or whatever to get the money. But, yeah, I'm very excited.